Hello, it's the 22nd day of April, 2022. It is 12:08 a.m. It is now officially Friday. It's the middle of the night, almost, and Bruce is home, so I'm trying to be quiet. There was something that I wanted to talk about. I got a text from Christopher today. That's what it is. I got a text from Christopher today that said, "I cherish you." Is there anything in life that's as beautiful as your grown-up child texting you out of the blue saying, "I cherish you"? As a mother, there is no greater thing. I cherish you too, Chris. I cherish you, Joshua. I cherish you, Jason. Little pieces of my heart outside my body running around in the world, connected to me with bonds of love so strong nothing will break them. Nothing. Doesn't mean you get a free pass when you call me nasty names. Nope. But the thing that I got on here for was because I have always been a person who has known that you can be watched or monitored without video, the sound monitored, through your devices. So any computer like this laptop and my iPad that have cameras on them, I cover them. This was covered for a very long time. It was a kind of a joke. Christopher borrowed it for quite a while, and it had the duct tape over the camera, but he moved it so he could make a video that's on this computer. But generally, all the time, the camera is covered. And then I took the covering off so that I could make these videos. Oh look, this is right here. That's the covering that will go back over the camera when I'm done. It'll fall back down. Just a piece of electrical tape. What else? So, I feel much more secure sitting here at my computer with the camera covered, and this laptop has a tendency to run work. At least the little work light is on after I have taken it off the internet and then closed the lid. If the hard drive is running, that stops, but that light flicks off and then comes back on real quick and stays on. I don't know how long. Once I shut the lid on the laptop, I'm on my way up, or I'm going to be sitting here meditating. That's what I call it. But what I'm really doing is I'm sitting there just kind of thinking about anything that's just flowing through my mind. I really like that. But I'm having a hard time with sleep again. I don't know why. I cannot sleep. It's a big problem for me, because if I don't sleep, I don't stay stable. I don't. I go crazy. I have been known to do irrational, illogical choices, making bad decisions if I don't get enough sleep, and I have rarely gotten enough sleep. I can remember back in the olden days, you kids won't even have any idea what I'm talking about, but in the olden days, they were called channels. Now it's like Facebook Messenger is what it is, or a group in Facebook Messenger. Or when you can add a bunch of people. Anyway, you had the ability for a group of people to chat in real time on their computers. And I would do that. And then if it was a specific kind of group, like the one that I was in was about depression, we would have meetups where we would arrange to go to the house of one of the members of the group for like a weekend or however long they wanted to stay. This was in the 90s, 98, 99, 2000. I don't know if it was 2000. I wasn't working. And in the year 2000, I definitely was working. 1999 into 2000, because I worked in a nursing home, and that was the year that all the computers were going to die. Remember? All the computers were going to die. Life was going to be really, really hard, because all the computer programs would all just stop. It's going to be blackouts and loss of water and stuff. And they were bringing in all kinds of doomsday stuff, survival stuff into the nursing home that night in case that happened, which of course it didn't. They got it figured out before it became an issue. People get so scared. Anyway, Roxanne called today, and she's really excited about coming up here to Cedar Springs to be with her brother, my cousin Mike, who has some health issues that are quite concerning to the family, and also Roxanne's son Matthew. Her oldest son lives in Rockford. But she will come up here and spend a couple of nights, and we will go down to Greenville and, do recon, on a recon mission to the apartments that we have our application in, and we're on their waiting list. We're all approved. When an apartment opens up, we will get it. Maybe it's 2 apartments need to open up before we get it. I've never been clear on that, because apparently I misunderstood it the first time, and that's just burned into my mind as what that was. Yes, we're 3rd on the waiting list, or we're 2nd on the waiting list, and actually we were really 3rd. Now we're 2nd. I hope I have that right. It's not important. It's just minutia. It's a lot of shit. If I could edit, I would edit this part. But it would be nice to go and look and see what it's like there. That is built, this place is built. I used to live in Greenville. I had very good friends in Greenville who lived in various housing. Bruce and I lived in Greenville when we were first married, so Greenville is not an unknown entity to me, but they have increased their acreage, their charter, so I don't know what to say. They've got this new industrial park, so they're making big changes, and this apartment complex is not in an area that I am really familiar with. So we're going to go down and look at that. And then Roxanne is really worried about my car. My car. It's hilarious. It really is. All I want is a reliable car. So I bought this car, and it was reliable until it got cold. And then it would just die. Put a new battery in it. It worked for a little while. and then it would just die. You can jump start it. You can charge the battery and get it going, but it will be working when you move it. You stop, you turn off the key. The next time you go to start the key, it won't start. And that is the most frustrating thing in the world. It's enraging. Roxanne's like, Denise, we've got to have a car. Oh, okay, but we're going to be in a city with mass transit, which means, they've got the dial-a-ride that you can call them up, they'll come pick you up, take you where you're going, then you call them up and they'll come back and get you and bring you back. And I do need a reliable car, I agree. For Roxanne to get the doctor's visits. It wouldn't be bad. Roxanne had a visit from the nurse Friday, or yesterday, and the nurse told her that she was in really good shape for being 70 years old. But she hasn't driven a car in a while. 6 years. And while Greenville is not Grand Rapids, if you're not used to driving for 6 years, and you drive in Greenville, and you don't even know Greenville. Roxanne doesn't know Greenville. It's going to be quite a learning curve for her. All I'm thinking is, if I didn't have to pay the insurance on that vehicle, that it just sits dead in the driveway. I would be so happy. It's almost $150 a month. Paying almost $150 a month for a car to sit dead in the driveway. Because if I drop the insurance on it, part of the reason why the insurance is so high is because I haven't had insurance in years. Because, like Roxanne, I stopped driving, lost my car. I always lose cars. That's what it is. It's like God saying, yeah, I've given you enough cars. You don't take care of the ones you have, or you don't pay for them. I don't know. The thing that I do know is that Roxanne will be very uncomfortable if we don't have a vehicle. And what's funny is she called me today, this early afternoon. It was after 1. And my schedule usually is to lay down to eat something between 11 and 1, and then lay down and take a nap. And she called just, I was sleeping, and I had dreamt that I sold the car for $2,500. Or I'd had the idea to sell the car for $2,500. And I was just doing this, rubbing my hands, because that would be $3,500 that we have to get into our new place, which would surely buy furniture, pots and pans. She says we're covered with silverware and dishes, but, a toaster, I'm going to take my toaster. Bruce doesn't use toast. Bruce doesn't eat toast the way I eat toast, and it's my toaster. I bought it. It was in my old house. Oh, I miss that house. I miss living on my own. I love my cousin Roxanne, and I know it's a much better solution for all of this to live with somebody else. But I got that taste of independence, of living by myself, and I want it back. I want it back, and I want it bad. Next go around, I'm going to make sure I get it, if it's what I want. I didn't know I wanted it until I had it, and then it was like, where have you been all my life? Silent, clean, calm, and peaceful home. There's always been chaos in my homes with other people, which is probably a me problem, not a them problem. I just noticed, all my life I've lived not having eyebrows. Everybody says, you ain't got no eyebrows. I got eyebrows. I also got a beard. Bruce caught me shaving my beard the other day. Shaving your beard? Yep. Because I'm at that age. That was funny. Jason and Bruce had been talking to me about the Roku channel. My TV is a Roku TV, and we have a Roku box in the living room. Bruce watches to get the streaming services that I've cut. Almost all of them, I'm telling you. And the Roku channel has got Project Runway and Project Runway All-Stars. Not all of them. You cannot find the first 6 seasons, online of Project Runway. They start at 6. Oh, and tonight was the Top Chef. I love Top Chef. I didn't tell you. I made short ribs, beef short ribs for the first time ever. Never ate one. Have only seen them on the cooking shows, and they always looked so good. So when we got this cow butchered that Vicky gave us, half of it, I told him I wanted short ribs. Now, when you see short ribs in the cooking shows, they're a square with little bones sticking out, big bones, they're rib bones, sticking out of the ends a bit. They stick out a little bit. These were slabs that I got. I got 2 slabs in one package, and what I did was I seared them in the skillet with just salt and pepper on all 4 sides, and then in the crock pot I put 3 cups of broth, 2 of which were beef and 1 was hearty roasted vegetables. That's better than bouillon stuff. I don't know if they'll even have this if my great-grandchildren are watching. That better than bouillon is good stuff. 1 teaspoon of that paste to 1 cup of hot water, and you've got broth. And 1 teaspoon, I also included 1 teaspoon of onion powder and 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1/4 cup of Worcestershire sauce, and you mix it all together, and then put your ribs in the crock pot, and put a sprig of rosemary on top of it. I don't know. I've never had rosemary in anything. I've got rosemary essential oil. The other day I smelled it when I first found that recipe and thought, what's that going to taste like? It didn't matter because I don't have any fresh herbs anyway. I always wanted an herb garden. I wanted a kitchen garden. Real close that I could tend to. Not big, small. Preferably up off the ground on the raised beds. That would have been ideal. That bending and stooping over, that's hard on a body. Plus, there's snakes. I don't like seeing snakes. I don't like seeing snakes. Have I told you that I don't like seeing snakes? I don't like seeing snakes at all. And I see snakes. When we lived in the trailer that was on this land, before we put the house in, I saw a snake crawling up the screen of one of my living room windows in that trailer. And I was just horrified and paralyzed. And I just calmly got up, turned off the lights, and went to bed. It was gone. That was a horrifying experience. And then we had a snake living in one of the bushes in the front yard. And I would go out on the porch and there would be the snake. Okay. And then we had a big one. Bruce said it was huge. And it was huge. I didn't need to have my glasses on to see it out there in the yard, underneath the kids' basketball hoop. It's a movable one. And Bruce moved it so he could mow. And then there was the one that I saw leaving the garden, going up into the yard. And usually, I think there might be something to this whole manifestation thing, because usually when I start thinking about snakes, which is about this time of the year, getting later into this time of the year, I will always see one. Usually, happily, very bad to be happy that anything dies that's not intending to harm me. They'll be dead in the road down here between it's a marsh. That's what it is. It's a marsh. We live on top of a kind of a hill, but we're set way back from the road, back here by the creek. So we're in this kind of little depression, but you go up our driveway, you hit the road, you turn to the south, and you'll go down a hill, and that hill is a low spot. There's a marsh on both sides. Deer cross there frequently. Turtles, not so much. Snakes, yes. And that's where I see them. Sometimes I see them just slithering across the road, going from one side to the other as I'm driving by. I don't ever try to hit animals. I know some people who will aim for them. They're not doing anything to you. They're supposed to be here. We're kind of the bad ones out. They know all their own rules and they live by them, and they have a better understanding of the purpose of life than we do. Except ours is to go forth and do good. Go forth and be good. Shine your goodness light all around. You can't change the world without changing yourself and the things around you, the people, places, and things. It's a ripple. It's a ripple that goes out into the world. Who told me today? Somebody told me. Oh, it was Roxanne. I think she was saying that they had discovered that this, no, it wasn't Roxanne, somebody else, they had discovered this bubble is encasing our entire universe. Okay, well, there's two answers to that. Either that's not fucking true, which would be my first guess, or we're an episode of The Truman Show, and the seasons just keep playing out until, you know, what, enough people get accused of, no, I don't want to go there. I'm telling you. It's not right. It's not right for children not to be safe. It's not right. So, look at me, I've talked 26 whole minutes. I need to go to bed. It's 12:34. Tomorrow, my hospice CNA nurse and CNA aide come, and tomorrow will be with lots of energy draining activities. So I should go to bed because I am tired too. Have a great night.